Hey guys, take a mention with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to compare the new iPhone 14 Pro with the 14 Pro Max. Now, both of the phones obviously are great. They were just recently released, has pretty much almost the same amount of specs, especially if you're looking for between these two devices. There are small differences which we're going to discuss in this video. So if you're choosing between these, besides the size, those little details that might matter, we're going to try to break that down for you guys. So as you can see here, I have the deep purple that we recently unboxed. This is the 14 Pro. So this is the regular version of the Pro, and then on this here right here is the Max version, which again is the gold color. Now both of the phones do come in the same set of colors. You got the gold, silver, and then space black, and then this new deep purple, which is the new color that was introduced. As you can see, just holding the box here, obviously the size is different of the box because they're different size phones, of course, which we'll show in a second. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going to be included in the box here. So we did unboxing, and as you know, right off the box, when you take it out of the box, the only thing you get included is the phone and then that USB-C cable charger for it, and then the manual. So that's the only thing available on the box, and this is the Pro, as we mentioned. Now let's go ahead and take out the other one for the Pro Max here. So again, getting out of the box, same exact thing. So nothing different between the box of the Pro and the Pro Max. You get the same exact content on both of the box. Again, there is no brick or headphones, just that cable and the phone itself, and then just a bigger body box. So here, as you see here, you have both of the phones side by side here. Now the first thing about these two phones is the price you're going to be paying for it, and it's important for you to mention there are slightly different prices. We have the iPhone 14 Pro now, starts with 128 gig, which is the base model. For this one, you're paying $9.99, and then for the 256 gig you pay $10.99, and then 512 gig you pay $12.99, and then for 1 terabyte you pay about $14.99. So that's the price for the Pro. Now the Pro Max, on the other hand, increases that price for each of the storage configuration by $100 more. So you're paying $10.99 for the 128 gig, $11.99 for the 256 gig, and then $13.99 for 512 gig, and then 1 terabyte, which you pay $15.99. So $15.99 is the most that you can pretty much spend on any iPhone lineup right now, which comes in the Pro Max. So that's the max amount of storage. So that's going to be the difference, the first difference, which is the price. Now the next difference, of course, we already mentioned this, is the size here. But along with the size here, so you have a 6.1 inch size display here, that's diagonally, and then a 6.7 inch diagonally here is the display. So if I hold it side by side, you can see kind of the comparison of the display here. Along with that, or the actual resolution of this display are slightly different. The iPhone 14 Pro here has a 2556 by 1179 pixel resolution, with the Pro Max, again, bigger display, which means it has a 2796 by 1140 pixel resolution on the display. Again, slightly different display. And along with the display, if the other thing we're going to mention is the actual height and the actual width that are different. So the height, if you look at comparing, the Pro is 5.81 inch, that's how tall it is, and the Pro Max is 6.33 inch taller. And then when it comes to the actual width alongside, as you can see here, if we hold it side by side, the bigger body phone for the Pro Max is slightly bigger. So the width here is, for the Pro here, is a 2.81 inch, and then the Pro Max here is 3.05 inch. So because of the bigger body phone, of course, it's going to be slightly taller, and much in terms of the width, a little bit longer. And then finally, the depth is the same. So if you look at from this angle, the depth is 0.31 inch, which is the same depth here. And lastly, the other thing is going to be the weight, because of the size, and that kind of matters for someone if you're thinking about how heavy is it going to be. So the 14 Pro weighs about 7.27 ounce or 206 gram, and the Pro Max here weighs 8.7 ounce or 240 grams. Now, is that heavy? No, it depends. Again, if you like a lighter phone, probably the Pro. If you don't care about a little bit of weight, the Pro Max, again, might be fine for you as well. And the other thing I want to mention here is holding it on your hand here. Again, I have somewhat average hands, so for me the Pro I feel like works better when it comes to just being able to grip it more thoroughly and being able to run my finger. Again, if you have probably average to larger hands or bigger hands, you might be better with the Pro Max, because as you can see, one of the things about reachability is like kind of going around here. As you can see, I can text go up to here and then I can't really reach, so I have to use two hands. So it's kind of one hand versus two hand. It's one thing to mention because of the comfortability. Again, that's going to be really dependent on your hand size. So if you want something more comfortable, we want to match it up with your hand. Of course, if you have bigger hands, that's always good because you can pretty much do much with it. But that's kind of the personal experience I have with the phone itself. Now, then moving on to the last bit of differences that you get between these two phones, it's the battery size. So the battery size are actually different on both of these two phones. And the reason why the battery is different is because, of course, the size here. The 14 Pro here has exactly 3200 mAh, which is the capacity, where the 14 Pro Max here has 4323 mAh. And in that case, the battery in the Pro Max lasts longer. How long does it last? So the Pro here lasts about 23 hours based on Apple specs on video playback, with the Pro Max lasts 29 hours in terms of video playback. So bigger battery means longer battery life for the Pro Max here, and that's going to be another big distinction between these two phones. So there you guys have it in terms of all the comparison. You got the price difference, you have of course the size difference, the dimensions that are slightly different, the actual weight, and lastly the kind of the battery life between it. So if you're deciding both of them, those are some things to go with. So generally, what do I recommend? I recommend, it's something going to be personal, depending on based on what of those things that we mentioned are going to be important to you. You can decide it on your own. But if you're choosing between both of the phones, again, both are great devices, and check out the unboxing to make sure you know what you're getting into. And hopefully you guys found this video helpful, and if so, please make sure to like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.